George R. Hoyte. Evergreen/2 Films. April 15, 2010. The Count of Monte Cristo. I first saw the movie, The Count of Monte Cristo, when I was 30 years old. I had just been released from jail myself and found the movie to be a message from God. The transformational human experience that I found most intriguing in this film is that of the main character, Edmond Dantes, who is falsely thrown into prison, uses his time in prison to sharpen his mind, and later becomes the powerful Count of Monte Cristo. I remember the darkness of Edmond Dantes' scene in solitary confinement. It reminded me of my own solitary confinement in Pierce County. You can feel the same despair, fear, and longing to commit suicide as a means to escape. The action picks up when something erupts from the middle of the floor. You're not sure if Dantes is losing his mind, until the next clip reveals the truth. An old man has dug a tunnel into Dantes' cell by accident, hoping to escape prison. He simply chose the wrong direction. In return for Dantes' help, the old man teaches Edmond how to read, write, mathematics, economics, sword fighting, ect. This scene is my favorite scene in the movie because it shows the power of the human being to transform their lives through the enlightening of the mind. It shows the journey of manhood. It shows the teacher that appears when the student is ready. It shows the power of an educated mind to destroy enemies and oppressors. The Count of Monte Cristo should be required viewing for all students. The second scene I loved in this movie, that moved me, was when Edmond turned the tables on the man who sent him to prison himself. Dantes' genius in destroying his enemies is almost like a game of chess. The movie amazes me and is the very reason I decided to go back to college and get as much education as I can. I still use this movie as a means of motivation today. The Count of Monte Cristo brought out many emotions out of me. That is what makes this movie my favorite film. It reminded me of the sting of injustice, the thirst for revenge, the motivation to use education as a means of seeking that revenge, losing religion and finding it again, and redemption after suffering. I really don't know if my personal story can turn out as spiritually motivated as The Count of Monte Cristo, but I use this film to help shape my motivation to seek an education.
What's happened, officer?
Well, little Bo Peep here has lost her sheep and she doesn't know where to find them.
Look, if you just leave them alone, I'm sure they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them.
Everybody in the business is a criminal. And how can you ever trust a criminal?